Howdy guys, Radio Magic here. I hope you are all having a fantastic morning, day, afternoon or evening, wherever you are and whatever you are up to. Today we are back on the channel testing how viable is Control in the historic meta, whether you're trying to climb to Mythic, maybe you're already in Mythic and you're just trying to make your opponent's lives as miserable as possible and you're looking for a Control list. Well, Blue-White Azorius Control might be the list you are looking for. We're going back to them core roots of Control. Nothing flashy here. We're looking at casting our 5 mana Teferi Planeswalker and yeah, take over the game with card advantage. Nothing special about this list though. We'll talk about a few inclusions that we've made and little changes from the last Azorius list. But if you are not interested in listening to that, go down to the description below and you'll find timestamps for all of the games as well as a deck list down there. And no spoilers, so feel free to go check them out. Like always, we try and play 4 or 5 games back to back, just straight away in a row, so we get to see all of the things that happen and get a sort of an accurate representation of how this list might perform. We are in Platinum at the moment, so we got D-ranked, and I haven't played too much Arena recently, so yeah, let's take that with a pinch of salt, how we do. We're not in Mythic, we're not even in Diamond at the moment, so maybe the people we're going to be playing against aren't as competitive as we should be playing against. So like I said, take all of that with a pinch of salt. But like I said, this is a pretty much like standard blue-white list. There's only 2 cards that I really want to talk about, and we are playing 26 lands in the list, so important to note in case we get flooded in that. Bear that in mind as we're coming up and playing. We've gone up on a Search Canter and we're running a main deck Rest in Peace as well, just because I feel like there's a lot of graveyard going around and Lurrus seems to be, along with Yorion, one of the most predominant companions. It's always coming up and I feel like Rest in Peace pretty good against them lists. It is a bit of a nombo with Search Canter, but like sometimes our Rest in Peace is going to come up really late and Search Canter will end up flipping, and Search Canter isn't completely dead. At least we get to still use these as Canter side and don't have to go to the Sunken Ruin. Like, of course, we want to flip it and get to Azcanta the Sunken Ruin, but having just the Scry each turn is still good if Rest in Peace is still shutting down our opponent. But I think Rest in Peace in this list is not going to be something that we draw and just play the Rest in Peace if it doesn't hurt our opponent at all, because it could end up hurting us more so. The other card we're including that I want to talk about is Brainstorm, because Brainstorm is something that we have not been playing for a while. I've actually seen a lot of other people playing Brainstorm. I really enjoyed it when it first came out, and I felt it was pretty strong. But I ultimately didn't end up including it in a lot of the lists we played. We played it in the Izzet list, but we didn't play it in the Temur list, because I think I mentioned in the video we couldn't find room for it. But we've found room for it in Azorius, and we're going to give it a go and see how it gets on. I think other people are really high on this, and ultimately it probably is a really powerful card and we just need to be including it. But we'll see how the inclusion of Fable Passage does, because we've got like things like Field of Ruin as well, and we're only running 4 basics, so maybe we need to alter the mana a little bit more. But that being said, like the inclusion of Fable Passage works really well with Search Canter, so we shall see how that gets on. But like I said, that is pretty much it. It's just a bog standard blue-white control list, going back to our core, either winning with Shark Typhoon, Teferi, or Castle Ardenvale. Not much to mention from the sideboard as well. Just Heliod's Intervention, Catch-All Answer, Test the Talents against the Ultimatum lists, Timely Reinforcements, just maybe against Gruul, Mono Red, maybe there's like an Auras list or something that doesn't give the things Trample or Flying that we might want to bring it in against. Just sort of an answer there in case we need it. All of your normal counter magic stuff and Authority of the Consoles for hasty stuff that our opponent might be playing, like Gruul or maybe even Arc-like Phoenix. Authority is quite good against as well. So that is the Azorius list. I'm going to shut up now and we'll jump into a few games and I will catch you again at the end with the wrap-up. I think we can keep this hand. We've got all of our lands. Should be good enough, and Shark Typhoon cycling it's going to be okay. So yeah, we'll keep this. I feel like we're going to hold this Irrigated Farmland to cycle as well and just play the Hallowed Fountain. Yeah, Memory Lapse is quite a good one as well, but yeah, I assume our opponent's on Ultimatum. Yeah, these Irrigated Farmlands are going to be quite good at cycling. Maybe Field of Ruin will come up to snipe one of our opponent's lands. Okay, so no Fort Caesar Inquisition. Pretty good there. Okay, Absorb's a good one as well. Unfortunately, we're not going to be able to play Absorb this turn, but I guess we're on the Brainstorm. And then shuffle things away if we want to shuffle them away. Okay, so opponent's just going to put Yorion into the hand. Let's Brainstorm. There's some goodies. I think we still want Teferi. There's anything we don't want here. Because I'm quite happy to untap and then fetch with Fable Passage in our turn, so we can still draw a card if we want to. But that being said, we could just put like these 2 lands back. And then we've got our land drop for next turn. And then next turn we're probably holding up a counter spell. Guess we're playing Narset next turn. Maybe Narset's just going to find us more stuff. We can just put Teferi back for now. We'll keep difficult what we want to do here. Yeah, let's put Teferi back. And I guess Irrigated Farmland. We'll keep 2 lands because we're going to play Narset next turn. Yeah, and then we'll fetch now. Fine with Narset, you just need to hit your land drops. That she's going to be quite good at getting us some card advantage. So yeah, we'll just play Narset out here. Go shields down for a turn, but I think it'll be fine. Just got to play around Fort Distortion, I guess. Yeah, other Shark Typhoon's good. And then we'll just play a tap land. Okay, so hopefully our opponent can't do anything too devastating on this turn. Yeah, it's not too bad. Okay, so yeah, we'll just get our value off of Narset. Another Wrath. And yeah, I think just cycling Shark Typhoon here is going to be okay. Just to trade with this Rallier. I guess we'll do it for 2. Might hit something we want to cycle. Don't think there's any reason to do it for free there. Okay, so opponent's going to discard, so not good times for them. Yeah, let's just play Field of Ruin. And yeah, we'll probably just go for a big shark this turn and start closing the game. Opponent might have like a Fatal Push, which is going to stop him from going to discard, but I think I'm fine with them just pushing our shark here. Yeah, let's just keep going. And now we're sitting with 3 counter spells. Feel pretty good. And I think I'm just happy to just let our opponent draw that. We could, like, just Field of Ruin that away. Which I actually think it might be right to Field of Ruin that there. Just because it's going to grab our opponent 2 lands and they were a bit screwed on mana there. Okay, so did we determine what our opponent's on? It looks like it could be the Ultimatum list. I mean, yeah, they just got like some Blink shenanigans going on at the same time. Okay, probably don't need Rest in Peace for here. And like Baffling End's okay. We want to cut the Wraths before we cut Baffling Ends. Aethergust is going to be okay. I think Veto's going to be okay. Our opponent will have no shortage of powerful... they've got a few creatures, but non-creature spells. Maybe we're happy... Guess this is the matchup where we want Test of Talents. Don't know if we want... I'm going to bring in the Mystical Disputes. We'll cut the Wraths, and I guess just Baffling Ends. Things like Renegade Rallier we'll need to answer. We'll need to answer Yishan as well. So, I guess that Aethergust can kind of do these at the same time. We've got our counter spells. We've got Cast Outs as our main form of removal, Teferi, Tark, and Shark Typhoon Cycle. I feel like that's probably enough. As long as our opponent doesn't get like too far under us, we should be okay. Still need to cut 1 more card. Maybe just cut like a Dovin's Veto. Since we saw quite a few creatures, don't want to be caught with too many counter spells that don't do anything in this matchup. But yeah, not sure about Test of Talents because we haven't seen the Ultimatum, so we're not sure. But you could definitely see taking this out maybe for something like Baffling Ends or probably just Wraths just to make sure we can answer everything that our opponent throws. Yeah, I think we're going to keep this hand. Looks pretty good. Just not going to worry about cycling here. Just make sure we can make our land drops, get all of our colours. If we top deck and absorb, like the option to play that. Oh, it's a good one. Wonder if we just want to Aethergust this. It's the beginning of upkeep. Probably not going to Aethergust that. So the opponent could just play it again. Maybe Aethergust it, I guess, next turn. Yeah, I'm probably going to Aethergust it here. Opponent only got a scry off of it. Looks like our opponent might not be on Ultimatum, though, which means we probably want to take out the Test of Talents for the board wipes. Because I think our opponent's just trying to put loads of things into play off of In Search of Greatness. Okay, opponent's going for Omen. So our opponent puts that, yeah, puts it on top. Probably just gonna, I guess, just play a tap land this turn. Yeah, I don't really want to cycle Shark Typhoon for 1, and we're probably just either lapsing or vetoing here. If we think our opponent might have a Mystical Dispute, then we probably just go for the veto. Yeah, opponent doesn't have it, so we'll just go for lapse. So let our opponent draw it again. They got a land drop. Yeah, they got one. Sweet. Okay, I think we might cycle this now. Could also Field of Ruin here if we wanted to. I think it's okay to Field of Ruin. What are we blowing up? Like opponent's only blue source? Then we don't have to worry about Mystical Dispute as much. It maybe puts our opponent in a position where they can cast a Omen end step here, which I guess is pretty painful. Okay, opponent chose not to do that. Mill 2 and then return a permanent card. Okay, so they're going to get like a land back, maybe. I mean, could just put this back on top. And then next turn we get to Shark Typhoon for free. Okay, so yeah, opponent's a little bit stuck here. So yeah, we'll just go for the Shark Typhoon here. For free, if our opponent's just going to play this to get a land back, I think that's fine. Oh, going to get the In Search back. Oh, they're just going for the land, sure. Okay, so could see some big things next turn. I assume our opponent has some pretty scary 5-drops. Yeah, cycle Shark Typhoon here, then hopefully we can just cycle another Shark Typhoon next turn. And try and close the game quickly. Oh, Teferi's good. I think I'm happy just to let Teferi take the hit, and we'll start attacking our opponent on 2 different angles here. Try and threaten their life total as well as burying them with cards. And yeah, we'll hold up Absorb. Sweet, in a pretty good position here, unless our opponent can, I guess, like Fort Distort us, but then we still have like Teferi up. What do you know? Fort Distortion is still a thing. So what, we just cycle Shark Typhoon here to make a 1-1? Maybe hit a land. No. Unfortunately lose our Narset as well. But not to know. But yeah, I'm just going to let Teferi take the hit here. Yeah, Fort Distortion is such a scary card. Like when you're playing a list that we're playing, forever petrified of it. But yeah, I think I'm just going to keep letting this Acolyte of Affliction hit Teferi over again. We'll cycle now. Oh, yeah, Searcher's Cant is good. Yeah, and then we get a Scry in the end step. So this Fort Distortion wasn't that devastating. I mean, it got a few of our cards, but we're still in a pretty good position, I think. Searcher's Canter is a little bit off flipping since the Fort Distortion also exiles your graveyard. Or most of your graveyard. Okay, so yeah, opponent's going to get to finish off Teferi here. Gain a little bit of life. Okay, I think, yeah, we don't really want Test of Talent in this matchup. I think this maybe is an Ultimatum. You'll keep that. And then we'll see what we get off Narset before we decide if we're attacking or how we're attacking. Brainstorm. We attack in here. Our opponent could have like a number of things to finish off. I think we're just still going. Just going to attack it. And our opponent could have like another Oath or something. But yeah, we can Brainstorm here. Maybe put this Test of Talents away. Just kind of want to try and kill our opponent as fast as possible here. Yorion. Okay, I think we need to try and find a counter spell for this if we can. Otherwise, Oath's going to kill our Shark, I guess. Or Oath will kill Narset, and then they'll get to Blink Omen as well. Opponent does have like Mystical Dispute up, but yeah, let's Brainstorm now. Unfortunately, nothing. Guess we'll just put these 2 lands back. Yep, gotta let that go. Opponent gets a permanent back as well. Yeah, tough now. I think we might have sideboarded a little bit wrong. I was expecting Ultimatum. I don't think Veto's that good in this matchup. I think we need to keep the Vetoes out. Definitely going to be sacking our Field of Ruin here. But it looks like our opponent's just like dedicated Blink. Got nothing in the sideboard to really tackle ETBs. And Searcher's Canvas is going to flip. Yeah, we'll keep that. Okay, so no attacks for now. I don't think we want to just play out the Shark Typhoon as well. Opponent's probably running the Binding 4-mana Saga. Yep. No longer able to counter their things. Probably just cycling Shark Typhoon for 6 here. See what our opponent's up to first. Yeah, unable to counter. Okay, opponent's going to get in there. We are going to cycle and eat this. Do it now. I mean, this is the beginning of end step. We sacrifice enchantment. What's the odds our opponent has that Deputy of Detention? I think pretty good odds, actually. We'll just take the hit. Our opponent could have Deputy, in which case we just get really punished by Shark Typhooning now. They can sacrifice Omen and go get Deputy of Detention. Okay, they're not going to. They're going to go get a 4-drop. Like, it works pretty well with Acolyte because they get... Oh, nice. Wait, is it... Oh, it's Spark Double, that's why. Okay, then opponent does all their blinky shenanigans. Okay, so let's cycle for 6 now. Yeah, I kind of wish we had our Wraths in. Okay, so let's just attack for 6. Can also cycle the Shark Typhoon for 7 again. Probably just going to cycle here. I mean, our position's not looking great. Opponent's managed to turn it around. Maybe protecting Teferi was correct. Now we know that our opponent's running Omen, which I wasn't necessarily sure our opponent was before. It's probably better to not let Teferi fall to free loyalty. Because it doesn't look like they had a solid way of answering him apart from Omen, Oath. Okay, Banishing Light. Yeah, so opponent's got all the card draw in the world. Yeah, take a big shark. And I think we will ambush this Yorion here. We can't afford to take 9, I think. So we'll just go for 7. Opponent's giving us the nice. I mean, they've had some pretty good draws as well. Opponent's going to go get another 4-drop. Archon. Yeah, I feel like we really do want our board wipes here. It'd be nice to have some stuff that stops ETBs. We could bring on our Heliod's intervention. It looks like it could be quite good. Like taking out Search of Greatness, taking out just like Omens and that. Just stuff that stops our opponent from blinking. Let's brainstorm first. Let's put Test of Talents and I guess we'll keep the Fable Passage. We'll put Search as counterback since we don't need that anymore. Do you want to cast out anything here? I feel like maybe the Archon. Opponent's just going to chump with the 2-2. I feel like it's probably game here. There's not really much we can do, I think. I mean, we know I'm going to mute our opponent. Being very obnoxious. Yeah. I mean, we could... Yeah, probably just casting out the Archon. Could cast out the Destiny Spinner and then at least we can counter. Yeah, it feels kind of bad, but I don't really know where we go from here. Archon doesn't have a lifelink. Let's just pass it back. Okay, opponent's going for Oath. Not much we can do about that. It's going to draw some cards, shoot our shark. Yeah, there's a good chance we could just be dead here, I guess. Yeah, unfortunately cannot stop this. So yeah, we're going to take what, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 13. So I guess we're just alive, but we don't really have an out here. Gonna block. See what our opponent goes and gets first. Maybe a way to destroy our cast out. Yeah, it's difficult to beat the opponent when they get to this sort of point, when they've just got so much inevitability. Yeah. Yep, I mean, we'll go through and go to our turn, because we've got a few things we could potentially do here. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. We really needed like a board wipe or something here. So yeah, we definitely need our board wipes. So going to bring them back in. Sort of sideboarded maybe a bit wrong. Going to take out them Dovin's Vetoes and Test of Talents. I think they're not particularly good here. Definitely want our Wrath of Gods. And I don't even think Absorb is that great. Like if we can stop the Destiny Spinner, then Absorb feels okay. Our opponent didn't have too much graveyard synergy. They had like a little bit with the Acolyte. So I don't think we need Rest in Peace still. Maybe we cut like 1 Absorb. Heliod's Intervention I think could be quite good. If there's a matchup that we're going to want it, it's probably this. And yeah, Cast Out doesn't feel too great just because our opponent has so many ways of blowing it up. Could even see cutting another Cast Out for like Doomscar. Yeah, maybe we need something in the sideboard for like ETB stuff, but this is not like a main meta deck we're playing against. So yeah, between like the 4 memory lapses and the 2 absorbs, hopefully we can buy ourselves enough time. I think the turning point of that game was losing to Fairy, but I didn't really expect Oath of Kaya to come down. But now we know it's there, we'll hopefully be able to play around it a bit better. So yeah, let's just run it back. Okay, so on the play, and yeah, we're going to keep this. We'll play the Hallowed Fountain, hold this Irrigated Farmland to cycle, and then we've got Search Canter to even potentially play around a Fort Distortion. We can at least have something going. And Heliod's Intervention, maybe able to snipe a few things, so we'll keep this. Hopefully no Hand Hate spell turn 1. So I don't think it's likely that opponent's going to... Oh, maybe they have it. Oh! We didn't see any Hand Hate for the first 2 games. Opponent's actually contemplating. I think you just take Search Canter here. Oh, okay. Oh, we drew the second one, so ultimately punished. But they took our 1 Heliod's Intervention. I guess they're really scared of it. I mean, somewhat, I guess it was right to bring in them. Yeah, I'll keep... Maybe we should graveyard the Wrath just because we don't need it at the moment. Probably better to like draw a Narset or something this turn. Opponent's got all the new lands. Joke's on you, opponent. We have the second Search Canter. We even get to pair it with an Aethergust this turn as well. Yeah, I think I'm going to get down second Search and hold up Gust. Unfortunate if our opponent has like another Banishing Light here, but we have like cast outs and stuff for later on. Yeah, Fort Distortion is so backbreaking. I think there's only like 1 mana enchantment our opponent could have. Probably best just to Gust this though. So we still do need to hit our land drops, and it's not a bad land. So yeah, we'll just absorb the Setessan Champion this turn, I think. Or we could just Wrath it. We get to Scry and then Wrath. So yeah, opponent blinks the Banishing Light and then gets back the Banishing Light and takes our Search Canter, so we're going to stop this. And then we'd lose both of our Searchers. Another good one, but I think we need to draw some non-lands. So yeah, we'll just save this Wrath, I guess, for the Setessan Champion, just Scry this turn. And then hopefully Search Canter will flip on the turn after. Kind of tempted with Castle Vantress. If we find a card we want and a card we don't want, we'll leave the card we don't want on top, just to bin it with Escanter. Okay, got a pretty good answer to this Archon. So our opponent wants to save their champion. I mean, these are 2 pretty good ones. I think we'll bin the Passage, I guess, and hold on to Brainstorm. Plays around a Fort Distortion. And then, yeah, we'll just Wrath here. I think I'm going to hold on to Brainstorm until we maybe have a few more cards. Because we're going to flip Ascanter either way. Okay. I'm sure our opponent's going to draw at least 1 card here. Yeah. So the Oath can be blinked later on, but at the moment it's pretty useless. It's just drawing our opponent a card. Looks like they might be out of gas. Yeah, we don't need second Brainstorm. Okay, so yeah, I think we'll... So you can activate Ascanter. If we hit a Wrath, we can still cast the Wrath as well. Guess we just take the Fairy. Then next turn, I guess we can just tuck the Setessan Champion. Hopefully our opponent doesn't have much more gas. Be unfortunate if they have a land in hand and they get to put Yorion in hand and then play Yorion and blink the bits and draw more cards. I guess you do that main phase if you're going to do that. Yeah. Kind of don't want to play Teferi onto this board. But yeah, it's coming down next turn, so let's brainstorm. Tough. Opponent gave us the oops. Okay, Shark Typhoon's a good one. I'm thinking I don't want to play Teferi onto his board. We could just play Shark Typhoon, and when our opponent goes for Yorion next turn, we'll memory lapse the Yorion to make a 2/2, and then we can play Teferi. And I don't know, go from there, I guess. But we should be able to close the game pretty quickly with Shark Typhoon. Just got to hope that our opponent doesn't have like a counter spell to back up this Yorion. We're going to take a bit of a beating this turn, but maybe with Azcanta we can find a board wipe. Oh, yeah, it's gonna be tough now. So if we make a shark now, the opponent will just shoot it with the Yorion. Yeah, that's a tough one. I guess we just hold the memory lapse now and go for a Wrath on our next turn. Yeah, Destiny Spinner was a good one there. Because can't stop the Yorion now. Shame. Opponent gets to blink basically their whole board. And then we lose our Shark Typhoon as well. Take 3 more. Yeah. Opponent draws a load of cards. Probably Destiny Spinner was probably too much there. Yeah, got a Graveyard Shark Typhoon, I think. We're a little bit too slow here. Obviously decline that. Yeah, Mystical Dispute is not it. Yeah, Destiny Spinner I think was just too much. We'll scoop it up there. But yeah, it came super close. Had our opponent not had the Destiny Spinner, just maybe missed on one turn for something, then yeah, we might have been able to pull that back round. But on to the next game. Okay, so on the draw, and yeah, I think this hand looks keepable. We get to cycle these cast outs, which is what makes me think we can keep this. Hopefully this is a creature matchup, but these Baffling Ends are going to be good. Opponent's mulligan down. Oh, don't have high hopes for this being a good matchup for these Baffling Ends. Yeah. Looks like we might be in the mirror here. Or against maybe Jeskai. Jeskai is quite a popular control list at the moment. Yeah, if we're in the mirror, I think our opponent's got maybe a little bit of an advantage here. Having 2 of our Baffling Ends. But our opponent could very easily have like Baffling Ends of their own. So kind of need to find a way to cycle these Baffling Ends away. So maybe we just play a tap land this turn. I guess like got to represent like memory lapse and sensor. Just because I don't want our opponent being able to go Narset. Yeah, mirror match here. I don't want our opponent playing Narset next turn. Oh. Let's cycle this cast out. I'd love to find like a Fable Passage. Yeah, I think I'm still going to play out lands, and all of our lands will enter untapped, I guess. Could hold on to it to cycle. Let's play out. I'm going to cycle our last cast out, maybe. Yeah, I think we're going to cycle our last cast out. Yeah, another dead card for us. Yeah, we're going to hold on to that cycle. Okay, it looks like this is saw it coming. At least if we find one of our Searchers Canters, the graveyard is full. Or pretty much full. And now we get to pressure our opponent with 1/1s, I guess. Well, I guess they had to field over in. They go for Vantress instead. Sweet. Well, I guess we can actually brainstorm here. This works out okay for us. Yeah, we get to get rid of our baffling ends here. I guess like one baffling end and rest in peace. Just because our opponent could have sharks. But yeah, pretty happy that our opponent had the field of ruin. We even drew into the Fable Passage, so we get to brainstorm again next turn if we'd like to. I'm kind of happy with our opponent blowing up Vantress though instead of Ardenvale, because pressuring opponent, like, they can't just play Planeswalkers into an empty board now. They're going to start taking some damage. They'll obviously have a board wipe for this, but it's just something we can do in the meantime. Nice. Yeah, I'm not gonna use a counter spell on this. I guess we're brainstorming first. Rest in peace, and I guess like a land, because these could still be good. Like the board wipe's still going to be good, and if our opponent has like a big old shark, then I guess one of these will be okay as well. But Fable Passage back. Yeah, Narset's okay. Yeah, we know this is a saw it coming. So opponent trade off here, they're happy just to race us. We could just wipe the board. We'll hold on to Narset, we still absorb up. Yeah, this is deadly, but we didn't have another answer to this anyway, so opponent gets to saw it coming. We get to hopefully resolve our Narset next turn. Our opponent might have like an absorb in hand or something, but I still think it was correct to board wipe, because our opponent just holds back their tokens to block the Teferi anyway. But at least we got the saw it coming out of our opponent's hand. Okay, that's pretty nice. Gets to like semi-shut down Teferi here. I mean, it resolved pretty quickly as well. We're just confident that our opponent doesn't have a counterspell here. I think I'm going to go for the tick up as well, since their Teferi's pretty shut down. Maybe it's correct to tick theirs down, but they have to tuck ours here. And then we get it back with Narset next turn if our opponent doesn't have an answer. But they have to play through a memory lapse. Oh! I assume they tick down Teferi for a particular reason, but obviously not. So yeah, we'll grab that Teferi back. And now I think we're in a pretty good position. They need double counterspell here. Sweet. So it all came down. I think we started to get off to a roll there when our opponent field of ruined us and we had the brainstorm. That was pretty sweet. But yeah, we're going to have to take out a load of these bits. So Dovin's Vetoes and Mystical Disputes are probably just like a must. Got to bring them in. If we're worried that opponent might have like cast outs, could bring in like Heliod's Intervention. And I guess like Test of Talents is like okay, because we're probably going to cut some of these bits. We don't need all of these board wipes. I mean, Test of Talents is just like okay, isn't it? Just it's like a negate. Kinda like a worse version of negate that also gets the rest of their counter spells, which is like okay. Maybe it's like better than everything else we've got. Because I don't think we want 4 Wrath of Gods here. Yeah, I don't think we want anything else here. The only other considerations like Heliod's intervention if we're worried that... Did we see anything really? Looks like our opponent might be on Azorius, but they're just playing the Triomes to cycle. Yeah, I think we'll just run it like that. Yeah, I think we can keep this hand, a bit of protection with our memory lapses, and unfortunately we don't have a way to shuffle a Brainstorm. We'd need an extra land before the Field of Ruin works, but we can keep this. Like, Wrath of God, not one of our best cards in this matchup, but it's okay. Opponent gets down there, Searchfast Canter. What do you know? Opponent has Searchfast Canter. No, I guess they can just, like, sit back. Oof. I assume they got, like, a Mystical Dispute here, then. Maybe. Do we just... Opponent, like, has a Mystical Dispute, don't they? Otherwise, they wouldn't just foretell here. Yeah. It's one of them, like, if Narset resolves it, it's fantastic. But if Narset gets countered, it is devastating. So, probably just not worth running the risk here. Obviously, our opponent's got, like, a Sauric coming, so it's going to be more difficult to resolve now. Okay, maybe opponent's struggling to hit land drops here. Field of Ruin us, opponent. Field of Ruin us. Guess could go for Narset now. If our opponent resolves to Fairy, feels bad again. Probably... Yeah, opponent could have Sauric coming and Mystical Dispute. Yeah, turn 2 Searchfast Canter is pretty bad. So good for our opponent, obviously bad for us. Pretty happy with how Brainstorm's playing out at the moment. Sweet, going to put this Wrath away, and Test of Talent's probably one of our worst cards. Keep all of our interaction. Assume our opponent's not splashing. Guess what? I don't really want to give him like an extra mana in case this is double Sauric coming. Opponent's going to go for the cheeky Brainstorm like we did. Maybe not. Guess we'll go get our double white. So, hoping here that our opponent doesn't have double counterspell. Double Mystical Dispute would be pretty bad. I think we're just going to go for the Memory Lapse, and then at least next turn we can Teferi alongside Mystical Dispute. And I will tick down Narset. Just start getting a little bit of value. We'll get another Narset. Opponent going to keep Mystical Dispute. Sweet. Okay, so 2 cards in hand. One of them is Mystical Dispute. The other 2, they have 2 counterspells in exile at the moment. I think I'm not going to tick down Narset here. We've got enough cards in hand, and we're not going to play our Teferi into our opponent's like almost infinite amount of counter spells. Is this a Shark Typhoon? Oh, yeah, that's a good one. We also get to trade with a shark, but still. Opponent's going to get to transform Sultai counter? Oh no, they're not. Must have been a goodie. Do we cycle Shark Typhoon now? If our opponent taps down with Teferi, I guess they won't be able to tick up. Well, they can tick up if they want to. Or last basics, this Fable Passage isn't even a land in hand. Yeah, I'm kind of happy just to make this trade, keep our Narset alive. Our opponent kept a card on top, so you've got to assume it's a really good one. And we're tapped down. The opponent did not. So we'll play this Fable Passage, but we have no lands to go search for. So I don't think we're taking down Narset as well. I don't think we want to play Teferi as well. I do want to play Teferi. No, our opponent's just like defo countering it. Or maybe we should have actually cast out here. I think we're going to cast out this Sultai counter. Yeah, I think I like casting out the Sultai counter here. Could maybe protect our Narset, but we've got the extra Narset in hand, and I think Sultai counter is just going to be so backbreaking. If our opponent managed to flip that, would have been really difficult to recover, because I think we're in a position where we've got quite a bit of card advantage going on. Our opponent's essentially got 5 cards in hand. Gonna take down Narset slowly. Yeah, I think we're just going to have to pass it back. Opponent gets to just keep activating Castle Vantress here, which is pretty good. Good card selection for them. I think I'd be more scared of Arden Wield here. Arden Vale. Okay, 2 cards to the bottom. So I think we try and run our opponent out here. So we'll go for the memory lapse first. I assume our opponent tries to stop this. No, happy to just let it go. So we'll brainstorm here, but we're going to end up sacking our Fable Passage literally just to shuffle, which I guess is like not the worst thing in the world, but we tend not to run out of basics normally. We've just drawn them all. Oh, get rid of this Fable Passage. Kind of want to keep Arden Vale. But like, what are we getting rid of? Maybe it's just Arden Vale we're getting rid of. Kind of want to draw it. How many lands we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 7th land allows us to... Our opponent has double counterspell at the moment, though. I think I might draw the Arden Vale. And then shuffle with Fable Passage. Do we go with Narset here? We can Narset, they'll counter. We get to Mystical Dispute them back. They counter that if they want, and then we get to veto their play in their turn. Opponent just has the straight veto. Kind of makes me really, really unhappy that we don't have a basic in our deck. This is painful because we could have sacked Passage here and then resolved Teferi and untapped with a Dovin's Veto up. So, yeah. Not having the basic. See if opponent wants to tap down here. Because I'm kind of happy to just untap and resolve a Teferi. Opponent's going to realise that their field of ruin here is essentially a strip mine. We can't resolve a Teferi here. Kind of really scared of a Shark Typhoon. Opponent have one. Ooh. Opponent's on the big Magma Opus. Maybe they have Torrential Gearhulk. Scary if they have Torrential Gearhulk. We don't really have a way to stop that at the moment. Might just cycle cast out here. Let's go to combat first. Yeah, let's just play Fable Passage and we'll brainstorm if we need to. Oh no, opponent has the Torrential Gearhulk. Let's I mean, what can we hit? We can hit Absorb. Oh no. Okay, so we need to keep this Wrath of God. So probably put in like a Teferi and a land. Again, I think I might want to draw the Teferi though. But we need to keep this Wrath. Yeah, I mean, that's a good one. We're going to take some real damage here. Opponent just shoots us for 4, don't they? Maybe they just shock us, take out our tokens. Yeah, we'll make a token now. Oh no, did it tap? Why did it... Did it not tap a land that we wanted to tap? Oh no. Our opponent gets to resolve something here. That was a bit of a bodge up. I could have swore we had 2 mana left open when we activated Ardenvale. Okay, opponent's not going to go for it. Yeah, maybe Teferi's just not good enough here. Teferi's got to be good enough, hasn't it? We're going to Wrath, then there's going to be a counterspell battle. Maybe we just need another counterspell here. It was such a shame that turn earlier when we had the... Well, we're just going to go for it. That turn where we couldn't fetch for a basic. It's pretty devastating. Opponent has the Azorius coming though. They could even just hard cast their Mystical Dispute. Yep, sweet. GG. Does this make us want to bring in Rest in Peace? Like, probably not. I mean, we saw the Magma Opus, like... But apart from Magma Opus, there's not really much else our opponent's doing. It hits us the same as it hits them for Searchlight Canter. I think we can just play around it. We just got to counter the Torrential Gearhulk, really. we've got things to do like memory lapse and absorb. But yeah, I think we're just literally running it back and hoping. It just worked out really unfortunate there that we had gone through all 4 basics. Maybe we need more basics in the list, but I don't normally struggle with them. So yeah, let's run it back. Okay, so we're on the play for game 3, and yeah, I think this is keepable. Just got to hit that extra land. Oh, opponent's mulligan down to 5. 4. Must feel bad from their position. I mean, if we don't hit land drops... Okay, we hit land drops. Okay, I think I'm happy to... If our opponent wants to resolve a Surtress Canter, and then we get to go Narset, I think I'm okay there. Yeah, take Brainstorm, try and hit our land drops, and we can always shuffle away the extra cards with Narset. So we'll Brainstorm first. Keep both these lands. Guess put Wrath and a Cast Out back. Yeah. We can always pick up the Cast Out if we want again. Like, it's not the end of the world to pick it back up again. You protect Memory Lapse. I mean, like, Shark Typhoon for 1 would be quite good from our opponent here. Maybe we shouldn't have ticked down Narset for that reason. Could always Shark Typhoon ourselves. Opponent does have an Arden Veil on board, so might just be better to wait a turn. Yeah, it might have been better to not rush that and just hold the Narset up. So we'll cycle here. And then we'll probably just Field of Ruin this, Arden Veil, as soon as we get the opportunity to. Okay, opponent's going to scoop it up to the Shark Typhoon. I mean, they were on the mulligan to 4, so like I kind of understand. Okay, so opponent's taken a mulligan down to 6, and we're against Lurrus of the Dream Den. I think we can keep this hand. Seems like a pretty solid hand. Just got to make sure we hit our land drops, hopefully. And cycle the Shark Typhoon on turn 2 if we don't hit one. Okay, opponent decided to keep their 6. Yeah, I think I'm happy to shock here to cycle this Cast Out. Okay, so opponent's probably on like the Auras list. Yeah, just the Lurrus Auras list, the Orzhov one. Which I think we have like a fairly good matchup, outside of Kaya's Ghost form, which is actually really difficult for us to answer. Yeah, we'll slow this down for a turn. Our opponent will get to play it again next turn, but we'll shock in. I guess we'll just shock and play Narset. And it sort of shuts down that SRAM. Baffling End is a pretty good answer to it. We also have a Wrath of God, though. But I think we'll just take the extra answer, and then if our opponent has a hand hate spell, at least just do it to answer it. And Narset's pretty good against what our opponent's up to. So yeah. So I don't think we're going to tick down Narset. I think we're just going to Baffling End. Play a tap land, not shock ourselves anymore. Could shock and just Wrath, but I'd rather take the Wrath for Lurrus. Could also shock Baffling End and Rest in Peace. Teferi Tuck would be nice this turn. Could also cycle Shark Typhoon. But it's quite likely I guess our opponent's going to have a removal spell. I guess then Narset falls to 1. And hopefully, yeah, I think I'm actually going to just cycle Shark Typhoon here. Narset will fall to 1, worst case scenario. And then we get to Tuck with Teferi next turn. And if our opponent had to use like an enchantment to get past the shark or to finish off Narset this turn, then at least we'd get to, opponent's going to scoop it up, then at least our opponent wouldn't get the card draw from it because they'd have to do it main phase 1. But yeah, sweet. Feel like we got pretty good there. Going to bring in these extra Rest in Peace. You've got to imagine that they're pretty good in this matchup. Heliod's Intervention's probably going to be okay. Just to shoot a load of the, like, Kaya's Ghost Form is a bit of an issue. Cast Out's like quite expensive. The instant speed nature of it's going to be quite good, especially with Kaya's Ghost Form, because you can do it in your opponent's upkeep or something, and then at least they can't attack on that turn, but outside of that, it doesn't feel too good. And I don't think there's anything else we want, like just want our Rest in Peace really, and maybe Heliod's Intervention. Okay, so if we had one more land available to us, I could definitely see keeping this hand. Like, there's a chance we could play Fable Passage, sack it, get an island, and then if we draw our second land, great. We could brainstorm to find them, but if we don't find a land off that, it's pretty much game over. So I'm kind of happy just mulligan. The argument is we're going to keep this. Guess I put like one of these lands on the bottom. Guess I put like farmland on the bottom. Gold of our colours, double colours as well. The argument as well is because you've got Rest in Peace in your opening hand, but I think Rest in Peace is fine drawing late game, sometimes even better drawing in the late game. Yeah, I tend not to like playing Brainstorm really early. Like I might be inclined to play a bit earlier here, but I really like it when you've got some sort of shuffle effect, just so you can get rid of cards you don't necessarily want. Okay, hopefully they don't have a Kaya's Ghost Form here or something. Okay, they're going to draw a ton of cards, but really sort of hoping on this Wrath here. Yeah, I think I might Brainstorm now. Yeah, I don't think we want the second Brainstorm. I mean, we're going to have to draw them both because we can get rid of it at Searchless Canter. Should we just play Searchless Canter this turn? Could hold up Heliod's Intervention, actually, and then if our opponent does have a Kaya's Ghost Form, at least we get to shoot the Ghost Form. And then we get to follow up with Wrath on our next turn. And then hopefully we get an opportunity to resolve this Rest in Peace after. Okay, kind of just got to allow our opponent to draw all these cards here. Unfortunately, we don't have a Narset down, but what can you do? Our opponent's not going all in on the core Spirit Dancer. There is the Kaya's Ghost Form, though. Hopefully they don't have a second one. Opponent's going all out, though. Maybe trying to just kill us here or put us in one-shot range. I really hope our opponent taps down here without a Kaya's Ghost Form. I mean, they've just drawn an insane amount of cards, so we're still going to struggle either way. We'll do it now just to save us 2 life. Yeah, not feeling good about our position here. Opponent just drew so many cards there. Having 2 of their like lordish effects things is pretty good. Got another Kaya's Ghost form? No. So yeah, probably going to have to brainstorm here looking for another board wipe. Could cycle Shark Typhoon to buy us a bit of time, but I think could still do that this way. Could just like Baffling End the Core Spirit Dancer this turn. And then set up for the Wrath next turn. In which case we'll put Wrath on top. I guess we'll hold up Memory Lapse. We'll put Wrath on top and Shark Typhoon on top. Or Search Canter. And then we have the option to... Well, I guess actually we won't be circling Shark Typhoon anyway, so I'd rather protect that. But we'll Shock in, Baffling End, and then we've got the Memory Lapse. And then the board wipe is protected for next turn. And then I guess, yeah, we're just looking for like a Rest in Peace or something. Yeah, I don't think we need to get down Searcher's Canter. I'd rather hold up Memory Lapse here. Maybe it's correct. Like we're drawing the board wipe either way this turn, and I think Shark Typhoon is something we maybe want as well. I think I'm happy just let our opponent redraw that. They'll cast equipment or something or an aura and then redraw it. But yeah, it's difficult with Kaya's Ghost form. It's definitely a tough one for us to answer. I think we're probably just dead here as well. Yeah, and then Saram's going to return to the battlefield, and we're dead. Sweet, so let's give it another go for game 3. I don't know what else we want to bring in. We don't have much interaction here. Maybe Cast Out's what we want. Maybe Doomscar. Just Kaya's Ghost form is like a pretty deadly card. Maybe Timely Reinforcements just buy us just like tons of time. Cut like a Shark Typhoon. Definitely not at its best in this matchup. Yeah, I think we're going to have to mulligan this hand away. Like, lands are really awkward, and like Absorb's just going to be too late. Heliod's Intervention's good, but not good enough to keep that, I think. Yeah, we can keep this hand. Maybe just put the Field of Ruin on the bottom. Turn 1, Fable Passage. Turn 2, I guess, Glacial Fortress, Ardenvale. Yeah, we'll go at that. I'm not sure if we want to get like an island here or plains. Set up for maybe an Absorb. Or for our Ardenvale to come in. I think we'll go get a plains. Hopefully we don't draw Absorb into that, but... Hopefully Rest in Peace will be good. Definitely don't want to find out other Rest in Peace. One's enough, and opponent could have answers to it, but I assume they don't have many answers to it. Yeah, more than happy to Baffling End whatever our opponent does here. Okay, so we got punished a little bit by drawing the Absorb. Yeah, punished quite a bit, actually. I guess the Ardenvale would have entered tapped anyway. Opponent, this is our opponent's list. Stick a creature and put Kaya's Ghost form on it. Yeah, maybe just Baffling End it now. Could, like, wait. Is there any reason to wait? Next turn we would get to absorb and Baffling End. But yeah, we'll just Baffling End now. Just get rid of that Kai's Ghost form, and then at least the Wrath will hopefully be able to mop up the Sharam on the next turn. Or not. Yeah, it's a pretty good list our opponent's playing, providing that they can find their Saram or Core Spirit Dancer. If they don't find any of them, then the list doesn't do too much. Yeah, just going to sit back, plan on blocking the Saram this turn, maybe countering something like probably just a Kai's Ghost form, and then scry and hopefully find Board Wipe or just an answer to the Saram. Yeah, just let this go. I'd rather activate Castle Vantress, I think, here. We're running 3 Narsets, and we haven't found any for Game 2 and 3 so far. So, kind of need a Baffling End here. Yep. To wait 1 turn. Take 7. Yeah, wait 1 turn. I guess no, if we draw a Board Wipe, then we don't want to wait. Rather just soak up the damage now. Ooh. Tis not good. Okay, Narset's okay. Hopefully we get to untap with this Wrath of God, but our opponent's got the enchantment, the aura on it. Yeah, demonic figure. So they'll get it back. Oh, it could just be dead here. I think just dead. Yeah, 11, 12, 13. It's difficult that our opponent doesn't have 1 more aura. There we go. Even though the Kai's Ghost form. Yeah, I mean, it's tough. Like, had we found the Narset earlier and our opponent didn't get to draw all of them cards, then it would have been different. And had our mana been a little bit different as well when we had the Absorb buff on the turn, because even if we went to find the island, the Arden Vale still would have entered tapped. So, yeah, Absorb was not on the cards for turn 3, but maybe we got a little bit greedy with just mana. Maybe we should be running less of the castles, because if that was a plains, that would have gone down very differently. So, but yeah, let's just move on to the next game. Yeah, I think this is a solid hand. We're on the draw, but Baffling End's a good answer. Memory Lapse is quite good, and hopefully Narset's going to be good. Don't like this hand against something like Gruul. Okay, Sultai. Maybe 4 or 5 colour. Okay, that's Sultai Ramp or something. Okay, so yeah, this might be the Ultimatum list. I feel like we've got good tools to tackle the Ultimatum list, providing we don't get Fort distorted. We're just doing our casual balanced thing. Opponent's got Debinding. Well, opponent just wants it for the land drop, I guess. I mean, they just played a Narset themselves. I feel like this happens so much on the channel. We'll give him the sorry, I guess. I guess if our opponent's going to remove our Narset, we may as well get our value now. We got the Fable Passage next turn, but I probably just want the extra counter spells for the Ultimatum. I don't know if our opponent binds the Searchless Canter or the Narset. Maybe the Searchless Canter. Opponent, if they have land, obviously get to Narset and then go again. Yeah, I think Graveyard at least one land. Opponent might be scared of the Shark Typhoon. This is the extra turn spell for 6 mana. There's the Ultimatum. Yeah, you shall have that. Okay, having the second counter spell here is okay. Let's finish off that Narset. Hold the Fable Passage just in case we find a Brainstorm. Don't have to rely on activating 3 mana for it. I'm happy to use the Memory Lapse here. Just make our opponent shuffle. Yeah, I think Memory Lapse gets a lot better when you're in a position. I think we probably need as much blue as we can get when you can shuffle away what your opponent's got. So yeah, we'll just smack our opponent here and then play another Narset. Yeah, we'll keep the 5 loyalty one. Take a Brainstorm. Yeah, these Baffling Ends are probably just dead. Nice. Yeah. Yeah, I think. Do we hold one Baffling End or do we just play the Rest in Peace out? We've got another Searchless Canter. I don't think our opponent's got too much to do with the graveyard, so we'll just put Rest in Peace back. I'd rather keep that in case the opponent's got like a Shark Typhoon or some creature that Baffling End, like a token or something. You never know. Okay, we're in a position where we haven't really got much going on though. Need to find like a Teferi or something. Gone for a lot of cards. Yeah, gotta stop the tipple. You can't let that resolve. No opponent. Yeah, Searchless Canter looks good. Kind of makes me happy we didn't play out the Rest in Peace. And then, yeah, we'll answer this Ultimatum. But if opponent's got back-to-back Ultimatums, we're only running 3 Absorbs, so not too much we can do. We have actually played against Ultimatum previously on the channel and survived through 2 Ultimatums, so I definitely won't just concede to the first one. Our opponent's got a good chance of just killing us. Hold the Fable Passage, I think. I think we need to activate now. I don't think we can sit back. We only have one more. Oh, we only have one more counter spell. Have the 4. Yeah, I think we gotta let the Vorinclex resolve. Memory lapses. We've gone past 2. I think we just have to find a way to kill this 6/6. Got plenty of ways to do that. Yeah, I think we've got to keep memory lapse. We can take another hit from Vorinclex if we need to. Still get to hold up memory lapse here. Opponent only has, well, they're 2 cards now. I don't presume our opponent's running counter spells in the main. Sweet, very good one. And yeah, we can double activate as Cantor here, I think. Yeah. I guess there's like no reason to, because we're not going to activate as Cantor, we're going to be countering. So we'll just untap instead. And we'll go for the double activation next turn. Gonna hope that our opponent's just gonna scoop. Yeah, I mean that was like our last line of defense, so I know our opponent doesn't know that, but this is the matchup where we want test the talents, and yeah, we want all of our counter magic here. Baffling Ends out, Rest in Peace out. Like Wraths are okay. Maybe cut like cast outs first. Like we'll keep in 2 Wraths just because not too much other bits that I want to cut, but yeah, answering things like Vorinclex and like Shark Typhoons are still pretty good, and I'd rather have an answer to everything. I can't remember if these lists run Nissa as well. I feel like some of them run Nissa. So Wrath of God can at least answer all of the little tokens. But yeah, run it like that. Okay, so on the draw this time, and our opponent has Mulligan down. Looks like we're going to Mulligan as well. And keep this hand. Opponent's just debating whether they'd like to go to 5. No, they're going to keep theirs. I think we're going to keep as well and put this Wrath on the bottom. Maybe it's better to put Brainstorm on the bottom. Having the vetoes after, yeah, opponent's got some hand hate, but having the vetoes after boarding makes me feel really good. The thing I was worried about in the last game is running out of counter magic. So I think this is one of the matchups where you really, really want it. I think we just get down our tap land. We've got like Mystical Dispute for whatever our opponent's going to do. If they go for a Narset or something. Again, I don't think we want to Brainstorm here. Quite a few counter spells. Our opponent's only got 2 cards in hand, so they're going to have to play through some bits. I think Memory Lapse is probably the last one they take. He's going to play Narset here, I think. Opponent could like resolve a Nissa or something, but we'll run that risk. Probably got to take a Shark Typhoon before a Teferi, just because we're missing land drops. Oh no! At least we got some value, I guess, out of it. Okay, so you're going to start cycle Shark Typhoon here and hopefully hit a land. Opponent's just redrawing, no lands to put into play. We know that these 2 cards are non-lands. Maybe they're not, maybe opponent's just holding them. Maybe they want us to think that. Yeah, Fort Distortion feels like it's on the cards. I think I'm going to prioritise playing as Cantor here. Definitely 100% should have tapped our lands differently to that. It's not going to matter too much, I feel. Because our opponent doesn't have any counter magic here. I feel like, are we just Field of Ruining here? Just put an extra card in the bin? Probably holding it for like a Brainstorm. What do you know? And at least if our opponent has like a Fort Distortion here, we get to protect some of our counter magic. Oh. Are we just like Teferrying? Or if our opponent has a counterspell, feels bad. We're just going to Field of Ruin. Maybe should have held up the Field of Ruin for the last turn, but we'll Field of Ruin now. Maybe we should go to combat first. Yeah, maybe we shouldn't have tapped our Field of Ruin last turn. Also, all of our spells pretty much blue, so maybe we should have got a blue source there. Okay, opponent's going to scoop it up. They know what's in our hand. Searchless Cantor's going off, and we're pretty sure that our opponent doesn't have a counter spell at that point. There's a good, like, they could have one. They could have drawn one for turn, which is why I didn't want to play Teferi out. But as Cantor's going to flip, and then we've got our our Mystical Dispute to back up Teferi, and then we get to untap Memory Lapse, and then we're just in a winning position from there. We can even play around Fort Distortion by having, obviously, flipped as Cantor and Teferi on board. Okay, so on the play for our final one, Game 5 here, and I think Azorius has been doing pretty good. We're 2-2, and the matches we've lost have been pretty close, so kind of happy with how it's performing, but I think we're going to keep this hand. I think the farmland is the thing that makes it playable, just being having both our colours here, and our lands are going to enter untapped. Okay, double Field of Ruin is a little bit awkward. Okay, maybe our opponent's stuck on lands. Maybe we should Memory Lapse that. I'm yet to come up against an opponent that like turn 1 brainstorms or does it now and then just scoops the game because they've been brainstorm locked. Even though I guess it's not technically brainstorm locked because like they're the Fable Passage. Because you were always destined to draw them cards anyway. Okay, so what is our opponent up to? Like Temur. Maybe we're against like another Ultimatum list. I think we'll keep one Field of Ruin. And we'll play out the field. I guess we'll play out the farmland this turn. Just so we can play Absorb on the next turn. Yeah, in that situation, like, Brainstorm's not great. Okay, nice. Okay, looks like our Baffling End's going to have a good target here. Opponent's got to know that this elite is not longed for this world. Oh, opponent's got a good one. Let's, I guess we're just stopping this, yeah. And Snakeskin Veil is a lot less scary when you know about it. Equally, could just let it go, hold up the Memory Lapse for next turn. How much is this to activate? 6? So opponent's just going to be hitting us for free, and then we get to Wrath of God. Next turn. No, we'll make our opponent draw that again. Oh, opponent's got the second one. Nice. I think we're just going for the Shark Typhoon here. Our opponent will need to use the Snakeskin Veil in their turn. I guess they can just cast like a shock or something. I think we're going to cycle Shark Typhoon here and force our opponent to use another instant or sorcery though. We could also Brainstorm and then go for the Field of Ruin. I think making our opponent use an instant or sorcery is probably better here. If our opponent's they're running blue, maybe for the Growth Spiral, but like Spell Pierce as well. So when we find a second land, as we just did there, opponent's going to probably cast something here. At least the Wrath of God will be able to play around something like Spell Pierce or a pay 2 effect. And since our opponent's shocked in there, I can only assume that that is what they have. Equally, we can get to, yeah, opponent has the Snakeskins at Veil, so yeah, we'll go for the Wrath. And if our opponent has something that obviously Wrath can't play around, then we can follow up with Baffling End. Okay, so opponent's just on like Magecraft Tribal. Kind of scared of being like one shot, but if we can just keep our opponent's board under control. They haven't got Snakeskin Veil up this turn. And then, yeah, probably just Brainstorm here and use our Field of Ruin. Hopefully I'm not going to regret not absorbing that, but I think it's okay. Like, we have so many answers to it. 2 more Baffling Ends, 3 more Wrath of God, Shark Typhoons to potentially block, Teferi Tuck. How do we want to sideboard up against this? Like, I feel like Heroic Reinforcements, this might be a good list to bring it in. I think we want our Doomscar. There's some goodies. Put land back. Knowing that they have Snakeskins at Veil, it's probably a list we want to use the Wrath instead. I mean, we could just draw that, but I think we are going to put them away. Would still much rather find Narset or Teferi here. Opponent's maybe going for like a Growth Spiral here. Yep. Like our opponent's sleeves, if you are watching this sort of straight away, then I think these sleeves are on sale in the store at the moment. Maybe it's the Guy's Cradle ones. Okay, so yeah, we'll just Wrath here. And then I guess we'll just stop the next thing our opponent does, and then hopefully rely on... Oh, yes! I wish we held on to the Wrath now. Oh, scary biz. Yeah, 100% scary business here. I've not seen someone cast a Niv Mizzet in time. Kind of want to put Is It Burn on our list of decks to play at some point so we can play Niv Mizzet. I wonder if a 6-drop's just like too expensive to be playing in Magic at the moment. So Cast Out is our best answer here. Unfortunately, we did put one on the bottom. Narset can find us one. It's probably better than just bottoming. I mean, that being said, like, opponent has Snakeskin Veil. So if they have a Snakeskin Veil on top of this Niv-Mizzet, we could just be dead here. Yeah, Wrath's a good one. It's not the cleanest of answers, but at least we do get to answer it. You can't imagine your opponent's running too many Niv-Mizzets. Maybe they're running one more Niv-Mizzet. But I guess they draw Ping Narset and then see if they've got a counterspell. But their counterspell is going to be Spell Pierce or the Simic Fight spell. But oh, that is actually pay 3, I think, as well. So maybe you should be playing around that. How many Wraths have we gone past now? 3? 3, yeah, so 1 left. Are we even taking down Narset? Can maybe leave Narset for one more turn. I think we're gonna play out the Shark Typhoon. If our opponent had the Simic counterspell, they'd probably do it on their last turn. They wouldn't get to draw more cards because of Narset. Maybe we just wait. Yeah, and we'll hold Shark Typhoon. Whenever I'm unsure, I always think it's better just to cycle it. When in doubt, cycle. We have 2 more in the list. Opponent's just going to chain these together. Yeah, I can't really stop these. Just got to let them go off. I guess if our opponent like relatively taps down, then could like activate Narset next turn, looking for like Teferi. Yep. But this Shark Typhoon is a 2-turn clock. So we shall see. Guess like Brazen Borrow is something that could be rather annoying here. Yeah, I think going to activate Narset here. Could have maybe done it after combat. Guess Absorb, and then we kind of soft to like a Niv-Mizzet, but apart from that, might be okay. Could take the cast out if we're really scared of the Niv-Mizzet, and then at least we have 1 Absorb for the Snakeskin Veil, but at that point, like, our opponent's drawn so many cards. I don't know if we can beat Niv-Mizzet. It's got the Brainstorm. So this is like 6 mana and you get to double the counters on it. So yeah, definitely potential to like one-shot. Opponent could be getting to a position where they are gonna one-shots here. Like if our opponent has like a shock or something, then yeah, we could be in trouble. I guess we'll have to absorb it. Yeah, I think we got to absorb this just to stay alive. So no Snakeskin, it's going to put it to 7 counters. So yeah, so it's gonna put the 6th counter. Snakeskin Veil is the 7th, and then they double it, goes to 14. So it's just lethal, just missing lethal. So we can hold the absorb for an answer to our shark, or if they go land, shock, or land something else, then 1 mana spell, then we can absorb that. And then it still won't be lethal. This will go up to what, 16 power. I guess it won't even be lethal through just a 1 mana cantrip. Opponent could have the Simic Fight spell that I was saying about earlier. Haven't seen it yet, but could definitely see our opponent running that. Just for the flexibility of being able to kill our creatures, or any creatures, as well as being able to counter non-creature spells, unless your opponent pays 3. There we go, there's the Simic counter spell, so, or fight spell. So yeah, we'll attempt to counter this, we'll see what our opponent's got. We can pay 3 to another one. But I kind of want to protect our shark here, so we might be able to... Okay, opponent has the 2nd one. Then we've got our upkeep scry here. Because it's going to take 9. And then, yeah, we're just dead to a... I guess, like, Snakeskin Veil's pretty bad for us. Wait, do we want to tap that? 2, 3, 4, 5. I guess we don't want to tap that. Just in case we find a brainstorm. Then we have to go for the cast out and hope our opponent doesn't have Snakeskin Veil. Because Narset's just going to be too expensive. And then our out there is dropping Baffling End. I don't think it matters if we do it in our opponent's upkeep, but we have definitely been punished in the past. So we shall wait. Yeah, opponent's got 1 card in hand. Do you have it? Yeah, had it. I mean, it came down card for card, both of us empty-handed. Opponent's got lethal on board. Pretty sweet. Let's go to sideboarding. I feel like we've got stuff against this list. Opponent probably has stuff against us as well, like bringing in their spell pierces if they haven't got them already. I feel like timely reinforcement is going to be good. We've been throwing like some chump blockers in the way. It's good for Niv Mizzet, but outside that, probably not. I like the Doomscar. I don't think there's much else we want. Don't want the Rest in Peace. Rest in Peace main deck's like okay, but I feel like it hasn't been that great today. Like a cast out that's really expensive, and our opponent can have Snakeskin Veil. Like you got to imagine that they have Dorat in the list as well. I think actually we want Ether Gusts. I think we want them above cast outs. What else are we cutting? Like a Memory Lapse. Okay, on the play after being got by a Snakeskin Veil, and I think we're going to keep this. Quite a reasonable hand. We can stop something early that our opponent's up to. And Shark Typhoon's is pretty good value. I feel like we're going to go get our Plains with this early. Could hold it for Brainstorm, but there's no guarantee that we're going to be able to play this on turn 3 untapped. And I know that one of the games today we got a little bit awkward with one of our castles and couldn't cast an Absorb on time, which might have cost us a game. Sweet, yep. Maybe we do want to be running more basics in this list. Gonna just cycle Shark here if we get the opportunity, and then cycle again. Yeah, we'll just cycle and then cycle again next turn if we get a chance. I like that a lot of our opponents' cantrips don't actually draw cards. Like, some of them do, but like Abundant Harvest is pretty good. Obviously, they're still running Brainstorm. I don't know if they're running Faithless Looting. I feel like you're probably running Faithless Looting, but then maybe you're just a little bit weak to Narset. Because they've got the Hybrid Is It card as well. I can't remember the name of it. That you put one into your graveyard, exile one, and one into your hand. Which doesn't explicitly draw cards, but it essentially reads draw 2 for 2 mana. If you can just get a land off of it. Or like a 1 mana cantrip. It'd be interesting to see the statistics of how many more people are playing Fable Passage now that Brainstorm's in the format. Because these lists just don't run Fable Passage before this. Let's go for a memory lapse, I guess. Opponent can counter if they want. I'm just going to pick that straight back up, I guess. Kind of fine with that trade. I think going to hold on to Arden Vale. It's just a good chump block machine. I don't know, like, if you were playing, like, I don't know, maybe in a slower format that the other castle is a little bit better. Opponent, like, definitely has Spell Pierce here, don't they? Do we just go for it anyway? Opponent defo has Spell Pierce. Counter our spell, don't toy with us. I mean, opponent's been playing pretty fast, so it feels bad if they're literally just... Feels bad when your opponent just sits on it for a little bit, but if you got it, fair enough. Guess we play around paying free. Could also just make a 4/4 shark, I guess, but probably not going to work out if we're planning on blocking. Yeah, I'll pay. Always happy to, or most of the time I'm happy to 2-for-1 opponent for this. A little cost of mana. I think we'd take another Wrath. Yeah, we'll stay back and chump block this turn. Just to buy Narset an extra turn if we can. Our opponent obviously wanted us to tap down, so they must have something special for this turn. Otherwise you wouldn't Mystical Dispute making us tap down. Let's see what it is. It does not have Trample. Okay, maybe our opponent had nothing. Do we want to Brainstorm before activating Narset? Just so we got the shuffle potential. Probably fine. Maybe actually the other way is better, just to hit lands. I think I'm happy to just Wrath. We'll see what we find, but I think I'm happy to just Wrath. And then if our opponent has the make us pay free, we can play round a Spell Pierce. But if they have the, I guess, Mystical Dispute, they can just hard pay for that. We'll see what they got. My point is they've only got one green source available, so we could always Aether Gust. Would we rather put the Doomscar away? Yeah, we'll Foretell. Feels bad if our opponent goes Mountain, or yeah, Mountain into Niv-Mizzet. Nope. So we can just make a big shark here. Make a 5/5. Our opponent will have to cast a ton of instants and sorceries to get around that. Maybe it's just better to play out the Shark Typhoon. But I guess there's just so many things our opponent could have to stop it. I think like it's good to save the Narset, considering our opponent could have like things like Brainstorm. And if opponent wants to use things like Snakeskin Veil here to trade, then I guess I'm okay with that. But okay, if they want to 2-for-1 themselves as well, I'm okay with that. So plan. Baffling End. With Aether Gust backup, I guess. And then, yeah, Azcanta's going to flip next turn, and then we're all good. Running our opponent out card slowly. Still quite scared of a Niv-Mizzet, but we do have two answers to it, and we could always Aether Gust the Niv-Mizzet just to buy us a little bit of time. Opponent didn't go and get a Mountain. Maybe they're running Niv-Mizzet, but like dodgy mana a little bit. Maybe they don't have the second Mountain, because I feel like I guess they need the second Forest at the same time. Like if they want to cast double Snakeskin Veil in a turn. It looks like, yeah, Niv-Mizzet looks good, but they got a lot of pips in their colours. A lot of them are quite cheap, so it's quite demanding on blue and green. And it doesn't look like they're running much red. Like, I guess this isn't hybrid, but a little bit of red there, but triple red for Niv-Mizzet as well. Okay, so opponent almost got down to their final timeout. I mean, they had like 10-15 seconds left before they conceded the match there. But yeah, anyway, sideboarding for game 3. We've seen a bit more from our opponent's list. I guess like kind of the same stuff. Do we want to bring in like Mystical Disputes? Like, they get the Pledge Mage. They don't get the other 2-mana threat that our opponent has, but I don't know. I feel like we got it pretty much down. Like, could see bringing in the Mystical Disputes, but I kind of want to have like, it feels better to be answering what our opponent's got rather than like trying to stop it from entering. I think we're going to keep this hand just because we've got some early interaction and some card draw in the late game, but this is definitely a hand that if we draw far too many lands early, then we're out of it. So hopefully we won't draw too many lands. I guess this is a hand that like Brainstorm just like single-handedly sorts out. Yeah, like 1 or 2 more lands and I think we're probably out of it. Hopefully our opponent just goes 2 mana for it here. We get to Baffling End and hopefully that just slows them down a little bit. But if our opponent waits till turn 3, then Baffling End gets like a lot worse. Just because our opponent probably has the Snakeskin Veil. So I assume our opponent's got like a Fabled Passage here. No. Okay. Abundant Harvest is another good way of cycling. Opponent put Niv-Mizzet to the bottom, I think. The Mizzet was revealed there. Yeah, so opponent's got Snakeskin Bale up. But we just gotta go for it, really. Make our opponent use it. Because our opponent just goes next turn, they just go cantrip, and then they could have another one up. So we'll just use it. It's like really like our opponent just has the Snakeskin Bale here, though. Okay, they don't have it. Okay, it makes me feel better that we just went for it. I think we did have to go for it there. Shields down on the absorb, though. It's looking likely that our opponent won't put another threat into play this turn, which feels good because we get to absorb on the turn after. And then slam a Teferi, and we might just be alright from there. Might. Our opponent's just going to play this out. Looks out pretty bad for us. Get to make a 2-2 here, but the Dragon's Guard Elite is just going to eat it. So probably just make a 2-2, play Teferi, and maybe try and tuck the Dragon's Guard Elite. We'll see if our opponent taps down this turn. Loads of things to consider. We haven't seen any Dorats, or I don't know the other name of it. The 2-mana, is it 1/1 flying with haste? Gets counters, like prowess with counters. Yeah, I think we're just making a 2-2 here. Yeah, Doomscar's okay. We know they have Mystical Disputes. They know we got the whole works, so... feel like we foretell here. And then we get to hold up. We'll hold back in case our opponent goes for the one-shot. But next time we have the option, if we can, to Doomscar with Absorb backup. Sweet list though, I like what our opponent's on. Just like Magecraft, utilising loads of the new cards. Along with Brainstorm and Abundant Harvest. Yeah, we'll take 5. I guess, yeah, we just got to kind of go for it here. I guess if our opponent goes for counter, then we'd rather sit the sharp back to block. So unless we pay 3, yeah. So I guess we'll just pay the 3. So opponent has a second one. Okay, so hopefully we get an opportunity to block here, and then hopefully our opponent doesn't have an answer to Teferi. There's a lot of hopefulness here. There's like 0 point in our opponent keep pumping the Dragon's Guard Elite though, so I'm not sure if they cast Opt. Okay, opponent does want to just go for some more. Maybe trying to find a land drop. Though I guess with Abundant Harvest you would have just named land if you needed land drop. Guess if our opponent has this in hand, maybe they're just like hoping this will get them a land as well. I don't know. Could also next turn just maybe activate Castle Ardenvale just to block for 1 turn. And then the next turn we can at least go to Fairy with a counter spell, but Doesn't really feel like a winning position to be in. Okay, so we're dead to a removal spell. Simic fight spell. Sweet, yeah, GG. With Snakeskin Barrel, that is also lethal. Just wait for opponent to cast it. Sweet. Feel like relatively close. Maybe we shouldn't have kept a hand with 5 lands in it. And I did say like a few lands into that, then it's going to be difficult to come back from that. But yeah, we drew a few lands and ended up dying as a result. But yeah, let's move on to the wrap-up. Howdy guys, cheers for making it to the end of the video. I hope you guys enjoyed watching some more blue-white Azorius Control. Pretty much just Teferi Narset Control. We're not doing anything new here apart from the inclusion of Rest in Peace in the main. And we've gone up on a Search as Canter and we're giving Brainstorm another go. Brainstorm, I think, like, is something I'm not sure on. Like, I've seen a lot of people pretty high in the community on Brainstorm saying that it's a really good card. So I thought we'd give it a shot again and just see how it works out. And yeah, like in 2 color lists, I feel like Brainstorm's pretty good. It does feel really powerful when you're in that position of you've got some dead cards in your hand like Baffling End and you get to Fable Passage them away. Obviously, I think it goes without saying, without Fable Passage, Brainstorm just feels like a glorified opt, or without ways to shuffle your list. Like, we've got Narset, we've got Field of Ruin as well, so yeah, I felt like overall in blue-white control, Brainstorm felt really good. I don't know if I would necessarily include this in Jeskai. Maybe with the 3-color mana base, it's just like too risky to include Fable Passages in there as well, because you've got so many shocks and jewels as it is. Or maybe there's just like a really efficient version of Jeskai where you can fit the Fable Passages in and Brainstorms are worth it. But that being said, like late game when you top deck Brainstorm and you've got like 2 dead cards or maybe 2 lands in your hand, it's just essentially reads draw 3 cards, which for 1 mana is just can get you out of a lot of jams. And I think there were a few games there where Brainstorm did get us out of a few jams. So, how did we do overall? We ended up playing 5 games back-to-back, and we showed all of our misplays, went through the whole thing. I think we made a few mistakes going through, but we ended up going 2 and 3, so not great with Azorius, and we're in Platinum as well. So, I don't know, like, maybe Azorius just isn't as powerful as it was in the last set. I feel like Jeskai is where you want to be at the moment. I don't know, like, if you guys can tell from watching the channel recently, Jeskai has been the list that I am the most excited to play. It's been really fun with the new tools. So probably going to see a bit more Jeskai around, but I feel like that just feels like I want to be playing Jeskai. The life gain in Jeskai just feels so much better. And yeah, just overall enjoying that list. But blue-white is still really fun to play. If you're looking for a hardcore control list that goes back to the roots of what control is trying to do, then yeah, blue-white is probably where you want to be. Nothing flashy, no Magma Opus Torrential Gearholt combo over here, just pretty harmless, Teferi, Hero of Dominaria, just 5 mana. I don't know, maybe a little bit expensive, might be too much for this format at the moment. I feel like what's happening at the moment is super fast, and with the inclusion of Four.Vs and Inquisition, maybe blue-white just hasn't got what it takes to compete. But that being said, I'm just one person playing this list, which is my variant of it, so this is not optimized to a competitive level, although we're trying to make it so you guys be the judge of the gameplay you've seen and the cards and how they interacted. But yeah, overall, like I said, I think the list did really well. The inclusion of Rest in Peace in the main, I feel like it's pretty good and probably warranted with just what's happening in the meta at the moment. I feel like Grafdigger's Cage, if you're playing against things like Phoenix and decks running red, typically have an answer to Grafdigger's Cage, and it's less likely that they're going to have an answer to Rest in Peace. And maybe Rest in Peace is something you don't want to include in the main. I did include the additional 2 copies in the sideboard just so we do have like a really solid answer. We didn't see that many graveyard lists. No Arclight Phoenix. We saw 1 Lurrus list, but outside of that, not much. No Sacrifice lists or anything like that. Didn't really get an opportunity to bring in our Authority as well. Good against Phoenix, but not so much against a lot of other lists. Probably bring it in against Gruul as well. Heliod's Intervention actually did okay for us in the list that it came up. We took out like a Kai's Ghost form. Maybe you don't want this. I feel like as a one-off, just to answer some scary things that's happening is pretty good. And then yeah, just Counterspell. Tribal. We didn't get to see our Test of Talent go off, but you can imagine targeting your opponent's Sultai Ultimatum, or the Sultai Ultimatum, then Test of Talents is going to be pretty good. Heroic Reinforcement, or Timely Reinforcement, sorry, yeah, pretty good. Like, we didn't really get to see it in action, but you can definitely see how it would be good. And yeah, that's pretty much blue-white. I feel like maybe with the Field of Ruins, maybe a bit too much with the Fable Passages. We did see in one of the games, I think it actually cost us the game, that we didn't have a 5th basic in the list. So maybe you don't want to be running Field of Ruins, or maybe you just want to cut like maybe Hallowed Fountains, or go down on some of your castles. Maybe go to One.Vs and go up on an island, just to make sure you can always have them targets the 2 to 4. And if you're going in the mirror matchup, your opponent's probably going to have like Field of Ruins as well, so you're going to need even more basics for that. So I don't know. You guys can be the judge of that. But let me know what you think down in the comments below, what we should be doing, what we shouldn't be doing, changes you might make, because like I said, I'm aware this list is not optimized. And I think we're playing 26 lands. Yeah, so the Jeskai list I'm playing at the moment is running 27 or 28 lands. So maybe we need to go up on them. We did struggle to hit our land drops at some points, but we also flooded in some other points. So maybe with Brainstorm, it's actually okay to run the 26 and we just got unfortunate. But yeah, that is the list. I hope you guys enjoyed watching it. And until next time, stay safe.